Welcome back to the New York Gun Guys podcast. My name is John.
My name's Taylor.
Captain Stevie was here, and he left because he had to go to work because, he's got to work and do that type of stuff. He's not off today. I am off today. Taylor, you're not off today.
Nope, I go to work in a little bit.
This is going to be a quick episode. I'm not sure exactly how long it's going to be. Probably be pretty quick. This is going to be a fan suggested episode, and I think this is like our first fan suggested episode.
Yeah, for real.
We're not going to say anyone's name, but he is our only UK listener, as far as I know, and we had a great conversation. And one of the things he kind of suggested as like a fun topic would be desert island firearms. So like if you had like your pick of one gun to bring on a deserted desert island or whatever it is, what would it be?
Yeah, if you were going on an expedition and you didn't know where you were going, but let's just say you got in the ocean, you got stranded on a desert island.
Let's say you're flying in a plane, your plane goes down on a fucking crazy island, and like you just happen to have a gun in the plane with you.
Right.
What would that gun be? For me, dude, and like we'll get into the reasons why I think this.
Right.
I think just probably a 12 gauge shotgun or a shotgun in general is going to be my option.
Pump or semi?
Either way, it doesn't make a difference to me, but a shotgun is going to be my option.
Okay.
There's a lot of things you have to think about. What would your option be?
Mine would be a Kalashnikov type rifle, an AK-47 or an AK-74.
So here's the thing with being stranded or whatever. Oh, before we get into this, guys, Facebook, Instagram, check us out at NYGunGuys, all one word. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Yeah, like it, please. We have 320 something,
almost 330.
God,
I think.
It's crazy.
I know.
What the heck? And you know what? It's funny because I opened up the Facebook. I scope on there every day. We always get notifications. But I saw on there the other day we had like 320. I think it was yesterday. We had 325 or whatever. And I was like, holy shit! Like last month we had 200.
Yeah,
this shit's going.
We
quick.
got like 90 likes in a month. Not to sound like any, not to like sound egotistical, but like holy shit! Like for what we do and the little promotion that we do, I'm glad people are seeking out this information. I'm glad people like it.
I don't know how you guys are finding us, but continue to find us, please.
Definitely leave us some comments on the Facebook page, Instagram.
Right. And I think a lot of people might follow the page but not listen to the podcast.
Right.
If you follow the page,
give us a listen.
Listen to the podcast.
Send us some suggestions of things you want us to talk about.
Right.
I mean,
right.
If it's old and cool, I probably know a little bit about it.
Yeah, probably. Right. So check us out on there, guys. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. If you're boycotting them, check us out on Podbean, Spotify. If there's a place that you need the podcast, just let us know. We'll I think we could probably get I think we're pretty much on everything now. As pretty much the way it goes is as you go on, like more and more like fringe like podcast websites kind of pick it up.
Yeah, they pick up the
just
feed.
Like, right. So check us out on there, guys. So yeah, today we're talking about the desert island or deserted island or whatever, however you want to frame it. Right. That's the type of firearm we're looking at. So Taylor said, like an AK. I'm going with the shotgun, and I just.
So what's your reasoning, John?
Okay, so here's the way I kind of look at this. There's a lot of different applications you're going to need this firearm for, right? You're going to need this firearm to defend. You don't know what's on this island, so you have to defend maybe against a crazy, weird, like cannibalistic tribe of like humanoids, some weird shit. So hear me out, right? So you're going to want something that you could use to defend yourself, right? An AK would obviously do you well. That's one option. You're also going to need this gun for hunting.
Yeah.
Unless you're like an expert trapper or, a baiter, a master one. Yeah. And
that's a joke. I'm surprised you said that shit.
It's an Office joke. I love The Office. Yeah. I love The Office. Yeah. And hunting can be, you're hunting, large game. You could be small game. You could be birds. Exactly. So having the ability to be able to use different loads with that firearm, I think is important. You're not bird hunting with a fucking AK.
Right.
And then
unless it's a pterodactyl.
They're fucking dinosaurs on this side.
Unless you're in Jurassic Park.
I mean, hey, listen, they used shotguns against the Raptors.
They did. Technically,
the Raptors killed them anyway.
Yeah,
but he did. That was his choice. Was a 12 gauge, and that is the coolest fucking. Dude, that's the coolest shotgun I've ever seen.
That was
in
the
my life.
Spaz 12, right?
Dude, it's so cool.
Yeah,
I want one so bad. And I would like just hang it on the wall.
Oh yeah, the Franke Spaz 12.
Dude, it's so cool. But that's besides. That's like probably one of my dream guns to have. But
those are your reasons.
Yeah, those are my reasons.
Can I pick apart your reasons a little bit?
I guess.
Okay. So with you have a shotgun, right?
Sure.
How much ammo are you going to have with that shotgun?
I don't know. We're just talking about
let's
what
just say,
firearm. I don't think because he didn't really give us a designation.
No. But like, let's just say you have that gun, right?
Okay.
And you have a tube loaded with 12 gauge, right? Let's just say there's 7 or 8 rounds.
Sure.
7, 8 rounds on the gun. Mm-hmm. That's 7 or 8 rounds that you have to shoot.
Sure.
Obviously, the shotgun is very versatile, but you're still limited with ammo capacity.
Yeah, you are.
So you have to really be judicious as to what you're shooting with.
But who's to say that I don't have like a Sega 12?
No,
true. With like a drum mag. We're just talking about like we're just talking about
again a Kalashnikov.
I know. Well, I know, but that's my point, right? So you could have a 100-round mag. So
when
so
you
could
were
I.
Talking to me about like the shotgun and its versatility. Okay,
right.
Ammunition, carrying ammunition, the volume that the ammunition takes up and the weight is very substantial with a shotgun. Right. So that's one thing that I see as a detriment to having a shotgun in that type of scenario.
Sure. Well, the way I kind of like envision like the situation is like, let's say
you're in a plane, it goes down, you have a bag of supplies.
You have substantial amounts of stuff, or I don't know, like he didn't really put like a limit on like how much ammo you can have. It's just kind of like if you had your choice of a firearm, right.
All right. So, also with a shotgun, things to take into consideration. Are, like I said, the type, like semi-auto, pump action, whatever. But you said that's inconsequential. But yeah, that would be the biggest thing to me is ammunition and the amount of ammunition you have.
Sure.
So I chose an AK for a number of reasons, and I kind of thought about this a little bit. Depending on where you are in the world, a lot of these deserted islands, tropical islands, islands in the middle of somewhere, generally speaking, they might be in zones of the world where an AK is a very common weapon. Maybe off the coast of Africa, maybe in the Caribbean, maybe in South America, maybe, a lot of places an AK is a very common type weapon. So if the island isn't wholly deserted, let's just say,
so you're saying you might be able to find more ammunition
because of the spread of the availability of a Kalashnikov throughout the world.
Yeah,
you might be able to encounter somebody, let's just say, who knows, Kalashnikov, like,
right,
Okay, that's obviously a very far-fetched scenario, but the global reach of the Kalashnikov is a very real thing.
It's just funny. You kind of looked at it as a more like real, like I'm going to crash my plane tonight, and I looked at it more of like a like a fantasy kind of like.
Well, this is a fantasy technically because I'm never going to fucking.
No, but you're saying like we're talking about like a no, I know. Total, you're the only person there.
Okay, well hold on. Let me continue. Right.
Okay. Yep.
So a deserted island generally is going to have sand and adverse conditions, maybe a lot of rain, maybe a lot of humidity.
Sure.
And the AK historically has lent itself very well to adverse conditions.
Sure.
Of sand, of rain, of humidity. I mean, they're pulling them out of fucking Africa and they're rusted. And the Somali pirates are still working.
Yeah, I know.
That's it. Salt water is a very big thing too,
for sure.
So if you're on a deserted island, there's going to be salt water and it's going to be corrosive.
True. I mean, you could be stranded like in the woods.
Well, this was a deserted island.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I know what you're saying. See, I kind of just looked at it as like if you're stranded,
right?
Well,
like,
I understand. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
So the third thing would be ammunition capacity and magazines.
Right.
Having even 2 magazines, that's 60 rounds. And let's just say on a common chest rig, if you're going somewhere, you might bring 5 or 6 magazines.
Right.
So, I mean, the ammunition capacity you could have is very substantial. Also, 30 caliber is pretty much good enough for a lot of things.
Yeah.
Whether it's against people, whether it's against, let's just say,
animals,
for
hunting purposes.
Yeah, anything bigger than a dog, right. You're going to be okay with a 30 caliber.
Yeah, for sure.
And then those are the reasons why I would choose an AK. Obviously, I kind of thought about it like geopolitically.
Like geographically.
Yeah, if you're a tribe somewhere, but they that guy over there has a rusted old Kalashnikov. You're like, how the fuck do you get that?
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah, I just thought about it more as like, you find yourself stranded somewhere. He said desert island because that's usually what people say, like, oh, desert island, like books, or desert island, like,
If you had one book to read on the desert island for the rest of your life,
right.
what would it be?
Yeah. But, or movies, whatever it is. But, if you're on a desert island, you ain't watching movies. But
For me, like I said, definitely
AK.
Kalashnikov type rifle. For those reasons listed. Obviously, the scenario is just more of a fantasy, but I mean, realistically, I did think about it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, some guns function better in some scenarios than others. I mean, that's a given. So, yeah, you're right. Like, as far as like long term, if you're stuck there, you have saltwater sand. An AK is obviously going to be the long term, better, probably functioning option.
Yeah,
I just like the So you're looking at it like through that lens. I'm looking at it through more of like
Versatile.
a functionality. It's versatile. I could hunt birds if that's the only thing there is. I can hunt small game and not fucking blow it apart.
Right.
And
neither of us are Les Stroud. We're not Bear Grylls. Well,
I'm not
Grylls is
drinking my own piss.
Yeah. Well,
Listen, bro. If it's, I'm just not doing it, man. I'll die. Fuck it. Like, I'm not drinking my own.
Well,
piss.
I saw an interesting episode of Survivor Man where Les Stroud distilled his urine in the desert. He peed in a cup, put the cup down the sand, and put plastic over it. And as it evaporated, the water from the urine collected on the plastic
and then came down.
Then he distilled his own urine. I'm like, dude, that guy's a fucking genius, man.
Now, I wonder if that like water tasted like pissy water.
No, he said it just tastes like water. I mean, whatever.
It is what it is.
You got to do what you got to do, I suppose.
To each his own.
But this was just kind of more of a thought experiment. I mean, some people might say, "Oh, I'll take a Desert Eagle or whatever." I'm just like, dude, what do you
well, it's funny because Taylor, we were kind of discussing, and Taylor was like, "You're probably gonna bring a fucking handgun." I'm like, "Fuck you, dude! Just because I like you, just because I prefer hand Glocks doesn't mean that's gonna be the gun I choose. You can't." Glocks are like good for pretty much like one thing, dude, and that's like self-defense or like law enforcement aspect. You're not hunting with one.
I mean, people do.
Yeah, but
they hunt in the 10mm Glocks.
Sure they do. But like if you're stranded somewhere and like you don't know what you're gonna come up against, I would prefer to have a shotgun, 100%. Yeah, I mean, a shotgun can take people down. It can take medium-sized game down.
Yeah.
We could probably I mean, I don't think you're gonna take an elephant down with it, but
no.
But you could take.
Why are you shooting at an elephant?
Right. Well, I'm just saying like that size of game. I don't think you're gonna be shooting giraffes.
No.
No,
giraffes aren't gonna bother you.
But deer, things like that.
Yeah.
And then you have the ability to shoot birds and things like that.
Yeah. It's definitely kind of a thought, and
it makes you think a little bit.
It does. Like, that's why, like, in previous episodes, I said, like, usually, like, my favorite type of firearm is, like, an AK or, something like that. That's just kind of what I gravitate more towards, too. So I think, like I said, for the ammunition carrying capacity, its versatility, its ruggedness, the way it's dispersed throughout the world. If you happen to come across somebody, they'll know what it is. Oh, Kalashnikov,
I think most people know what shotguns are.
Yeah, but I mean,
shotguns have been around for a long time, dude.
Yeah, but the AK is pretty,
I think it's universally. I think they're both pretty universal, though.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those weird things. I don't think there's really a wrong answer.
No,
other
there's
than
never a
I mean,
wrong answer.
I think like a Glock might be a wrong answer,
unless you want to bring a Mosin. That might be the wrong answer.
I mean, you can hunt with it, but that's probably it.
Yeah, but the littlest bit of sand you get in that bitch, it's gonna fucking lock up, man.
Yeah,
Sticky bolt
Pete.
Yeah,
and Mosin Jones. But yeah, I mean, I like I said, I like the shotgun option for sure. Definitely, it does. And for me, it doesn't really matter what gauge. It could be 10, 20, whatever, 12. But it's just like I said, it's less about like the actual firearm, I guess, and more about like what I could shoot out of it. Yours is more about like the reliability of the firearm.
Yeah, I would say so. The reliability, the ease of use, the ability to withstand adverse conditions.
Right.
Stuff like that.
So that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Now, if you had an AK variant as a 12 gauge.
Oh, like the side
yeah.
That
might be like the.
I don't know if I'd want that, man. I mean, for a desert island gun, I think it might be too finicky, man. It's too big, too bulky. The ammunition weighs too much.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love an AK style shotgun, but unfortunately, in New York, they made them, not available to get. So, my one day, one day I shall have you.
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't know.
That's
Do you have
pretty much
any-
it. No. I mean, this was just a short, fun episode. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we try to cover a lot of topics, but sometimes, man, it's just going to be a short, silly episode.
I have covered like a lot of
Solo.
political stuff and solo stuff, and now that we're here doing an episode together, we're doing more. We're trying to get back into like the firearm stuff,
Right. But there was a lot of politics that were going on, man.
there
There's
is a
so
lot of
much
I
shit.
know,
mean,
man.
obviously with the regime change, so to speak. But there's just a lot to cover and a lot to get out to people. But yeah, definitely want to get back more into talking about guns and firearms.
Well, I think if I do any solo stuff, it's going to be more like political
thought
aspect
pieces,
right,
opinion pieces,
and just
stuff like
opinion stuff. And we did the Lindsey Graham, opinion piece, which Taylor told me he hasn't even listened to yet because he's a terrible person. But he should listen to it.
Of course.
If no one listened to it, go back and listen. It's only maybe it's the last episode.
Yeah, it was the last
or
episode.
2 episodes ago. Whatever it's going to be. About Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham. Did you see who was it? Was it
I just picture looking like an 80s rock star.
Shit, was it who just said who's like Nancy Pelosi's like right-hand guy?
Chuck Schumer?
Oh yeah, was it Chuck Schumer who just said that like Trump was responsible for the Capitol erection? Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
He's like doing a speech and he's like he was responsible for the erection and he's like insurrection. I'm like, dude, that shit's gonna be.
Speaking of Nancy Pelosi, one thing I'd like to point out is Wolf Blitzer. The other day, I saw him on the news. He was grilling Nancy Pelosi about certain things, and she was firing back at him, saying, "Why are you always an apologist for the right? Why are you?" And he's honestly like, I was kind of proud of Wolf Blitzer for like standing up and saying, calling her out on some things. I forget what the context was, but a lot of narratives are now changing. A lot of people's opinions now are changing. Hopefully the media won't be so lockstep with what the administration is doing without questioning them. And what we've been seeing so far with these executive orders, it's just been, I don't know, it hasn't been such a good start to things. I mean, he's just signed executive orders like crazy, killing jobs.
Well, they all do.
They restored foreign aid back to Palestine, which Trump cut because of all the shit they do.
Right.
That was a big thing for me because I'm like, really? Palestine?
Right.
Not going to get into that too much, but
one of the things I actually saw that I liked was during one of the press briefings, the media whatever briefings that they do with their new press secretary. Biden,
the redheaded chick?
Yeah, she's red hair. Yeah. So Biden had signed an executive order saying that they want masks to be worn on all like federal buildings on federal property, and then you have Biden who like signs it and then
without wearing masks.
He signs it and then like he does like a press conference with no mask on. So it was actually refreshing. I saw like there was media figures who were actually questioning her like, look, Biden is trying to push masks. He signed this executive order saying, everyone has to wear a mask on federal property, and then he gets up and he does a press conference with no mask on. Like,
right.
Where's the rationale behind that? Why is it that he doesn't have to follow his rules? And she really had nothing to say.
No.
And it was for me, it was just so refreshing seeing that side of the aisle get questioned as well, because I think a lot of people are under they're under the thoughts that now like that Biden's just going to have it easy, and it's kind of nice to see that maybe some people aren't going to let him off that easy.
You know who's not letting him off so far is the left. They're still egging him on for, student loan forgiveness and all these woke leftist policies that they're like, all right, you're president now, let's go. Come on, I voted you in, let's go.
Right.
But it doesn't work like that.
What's crazy? I think a lot of people on the left might, and I don't think they're ever going to, they'll never learn, but I think that they're going to start to see like, oh shit, mate, why isn't he giving us exactly what he promised? Why aren't we getting everything that he said? We voted you in. Like, well, now what, like he's already saying like a good example is like he was saying Trump didn't do anything about coronavirus and blah 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 blah.
He said he had a plan.
He should have known. He should have been able to see. And then like he gets up and he's just like, oh, this is going to go on for several months. We can't
change the trajectory of this.
Right. Like what changed? Nothing changed about the coronavirus. It's just like you guys just like we're beating Trump down. Like
right. That's all it is.
I think that more and more people will realize, okay, maybe Trump wasn't that bad.
You know what? It wasn't that he wasn't bad. He was outside of the mold of a typical political figure.
Oh, of course.
And, sometimes, he let his ego get in the way.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, he really shook things up.
Yeah.
And he really called into question a lot of things that have been going on in politics that people just kind of said, well, that's the norm.
Well, that's politics. Yeah, but it's not. Right.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, I should say. It shouldn't be the norm.
Right. So Biden coming in now and undoing a lot of what Trump did is just a sign of saying, nope, we're going to go back to the way things were. And, the government's going to go, regress as opposed to progress.
Yeah.
Defunding the border construction wall, defunding the
That's
pipeline,
all political
giving
theater.
aid to Palestine and all these other different countries. And then there's just so much more shit, like with the whole transgender LGBTQ stuff that's going on,
Right.
which, it's a very touchy subject to a lot of people,
Yeah.
but so I don't even want to get into that. But, it's just things that people really shouldn't be so concerned with right now. The number one thing in the country should be, how are we going to stop coronavirus? How are we going to get it to a point where we can control it, to where we can get back to normal?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, you look at Governor Cuomo, and for the last year, he's been saying, like, we have to keep everything shut down. Everything's got to be shut down. We can worry about jobs and the economy after.
Right.
We need to save lives. And then, like, it's like the day that
Biden
gets into office.
Oh, we're going to open up.
Tweeting,
We're
saying,
ready.
like, oh, we have to open up now. We can't let. And he's pretty much just saying the exact shit that Trump said.
Right.
For 8 months. Right. So what changed? Nothing. You know what changed? His political affiliation.
Right. He's buttering up to Biden so they could get more federal funding.
It's embarrassing. And for people who don't see that, that's fucking embarrassing for you.
Well, they put the Trump blinders on because everything is just shown through the lens of hate of Trump.
How do you look at that and say, yeah, that shit makes sense?
It doesn't.
Where for 8 months he said one thing, and then like literally overnight it was the total opposite thing that Trump was saying the whole time. We have to open up. We have to open up now because we can't let the economy. If we stay closed, there will be no economy left to open up. Trump has been saying that. Now Cuomo wants to flip the script, dude. If you look at that as a fucking rational human being and you don't say to yourself, that shit doesn't make any sense, you have a fucking problem.
Also, people have the ability now to play Monday morning quarterback of what Trump should have done or what he could have done. But at the time, we didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah. And
everyone was figuring out the same way. Dr. Fauci, whatever his name is, said at first, oh, don't wear a mask in public or only wear it if you're sick. Now it's wear 2 masks or 3 masks, and you're like, well, what is it?
And now he's and for 9 months he was saying that, like, he only speaks the science. He has never been silenced. He's and then now all of a sudden he's saying, well, I was silenced by Trump. Give me a fucking break, dude.
Right.
Which one was it? I cannot. These politicians are just fucked. They're so fucked.
Right.
And it's just like it hurts to even like think about.
I know.
Like, oh my
and I'm
God.
just hoping that honestly we have enough common sense people in our
don't.
government that will, if any gun legislation comes down the pipeline, well, I mean, there's still the filibuster, which the Democrats are trying to get rid of. So you need a majority vote in order to defeat the filibuster. So, I'm just really hoping that firearms will be, I mean, it's something that they said they're going to tackle within their first 100 days, whatever.
They haven't done much for that now.
Well, not as of yet, but they're still trying to undo everything that Trump had done, which Trump honestly didn't do much for firearms.
Right.
He kind of stayed it off, but he instituted the bump stock ban. And like I said, that's my one criticism with him when it comes to that. He ran on a pro-gun platform, and there really wasn't much done. Obviously, he was fighting everyone off left and right to try and maintain his presidency, to stop the attacks, to stop the witch hunt. I get that, but if you run on something, man, and you rally everyone, you should be able to deliver on that.
At the same time, a lot of our woes are at the state level, and he can't tell
Yes
New
and
York
no.
State change your laws.
But he can enact federal legislation that, if enacted federally, if it conflicts with the state law, there could be lawsuits brought up. When federal and state conflict, it goes to the Supreme Court, which we now have a majority in, which the Democrats are trying to change.
Right.
So that's the big thing.
Right.
So, I mean, listen, it's going to take years. It's going to take years for anything to happen. It's not going to get done in one presidency.
I don't think we're getting any of our rights back ever.
No, that's generally what happens.
Once they take your rights, you never get them back.
Like the Patriot Act post 9/11.
That's always we're always going to have that.
I'm
forever.
kind of annoyed that Trump didn't pardon Snowden. I'm just going to say that. Like, he had the opportunity to. It was proven years later that what Snowden said was correct. That the government was breaking its own rules. That they were spying on people. That there was mass surveillance. That the CIA did go rogue. And honestly, an American citizen having to live in exile in Russia for whistleblowing, some people will say, well, he's a traitor. It's like, you know what? As more information comes out about it,
well, there's laws that protect whistleblowers.
Yes,
so
but
right, I know. When the powers that be decide, they decide.
So when Trump pardons Lil Wayne for a gun charge, but doesn't pardon, and it was all just, I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but it was the big government basically silencing him and saying, if you do this, we're going to proceed with this against you. And it was just, I'm sure there was some shit said in the back rooms or whatever. But not to get too deep into politics on that, but I just hope that in the future that at least if they do introduce gun control legislation, that it does get blocked, that people do have enough common sense to say, like, this isn't, what are we doing? Like, this isn't the most important thing right now. Let people have their freedoms. Let people have their rights. We need to get America back to work. We need to get businesses open. We need to stop this virus. At least, if not stop it, get it under to a control point to where we can at least try to get back normal, you know?
Biden, I want my the remainder of my $2,000 stimmy that you guys so lovingly blocked from Trump and then decided you want to give it to everybody.
Yeah.
Look, look, here's the thing. A lot of people are like, "Oh, well, you don't like socialism, so why are you accepting stimulus checks?" So don't give me a fucking stimulus check. I don't care.
Right.
But if you're gonna give him out, sure, give him out. But like, no, I mean, I think the majority of the people don't need it.
The whole point, the majority of people don't need it, but the whole point is the government says you can't do this and you can't do that. And you can't go to work and you can't operate your business. Right. All right, well, then if you're telling me I can't do
then you have to do
then what are you doing for me?
Right, exactly.
Right? Like, what am I getting out of this? Right. If you're making me stay home, if you're making me close my business for no other reason than to in the interest of public safety, then what are you doing for me? You paying my bills? You putting my lights on?
I will say that New York State, or I think it was like the federal level, but that they did do the right thing as far as when they did shut things down, extending unemployment and allowing people to get that extra $600 and all that stuff. But I think where they failed, what they failed to realize is that giving people that extra $600 put them way above what they were making.
Yeah,
and a lot of
people are dependent upon
a lot of people didn't want to go back to work.
No, I know people personally that don't want to go back to work because of that.
My wife manages a small business, and she has people who work for her that when they reopened, she was asking, "Hey, are you coming back?" And they were like, "No, because I'm making a lot more money right now being on unemployment."
Right.
And I don't know if they failed to realize that or if they just willingly just didn't care. Like you're gonna have these unemployment numbers and you're gonna be draining the.
It's already drained. New York State went through 20-something years of its unemployment benefits in last year, I think. You said with the amount of people they had to pay out. And like I said, if the government says that you can't work and you can't do this, all right, then you should be paid.
I think so.
But that's not socialism. That's just a social contract between a government and its people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So socialism is like what Biden says now. If you fear that you can't go back to work due to pre-existing conditions and you will be exposed to COVID, then you don't have to. Then you could deny a job and still be on unemployment. That's what he said. They recently passed that.
Yeah.
So you don't have to have a reason to go back to work. You can deny jobs and keep getting unemployment.
Yeah.
That is socialism.
Yeah. Well, that's what they want. We all know that. The left likes socialism.
Just remember, Nazi Germany was socialism.
I don't think that there's anything wrong with having these type of social benefits.
I don't.
But I think that there is a problem when people take advantage of them.
Yes,
and
of
I think it's
course.
a bigger problem when the government allows people to willingly take advantage of it through policy. I mean, that's through policy. They're letting people take advantage of it through policy. It's weird to me.
No, it is.
It's so un-American.
People are in need of Medicare, Medicaid, social programs. There are people in need of it, but like you said, when somebody says, "Well, I can make more on unemployment than I can of working," I'm not going to be a contributing member to society.
Right.
So there's an extreme problem there.
Yeah, I think so. All right. I don't know. That's what you got?
Yeah, I mean,
what
honestly,
do you have to go? I guess you have to go to work.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, Desert Island Guns. It was a fun topic. Maybe leave a comment on our Facebook page or whatever. Tell us what you would bring or what you would have. Bring? I mean, maybe if you were in Jurassic Park, you'd have the SPAS 12 or something. Or
I would.
I mean, listen, it was just a little fun piece. We just,
I'm surprised there weren't as many firearms in Jurassic Park. The first one.
Yeah.
In the second one, I think there was, right?
Yeah.
With the big truck that was hanging over the edge. They had they had cool sniper rifles and shit.
Well, I mean, honestly, what's going to take down a Stegosaurus or some bullshit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's you're not really taking down, big T-Rex with that shit.
Yeah, that's true. Well, man, I gotta watch Jurassic Park again. This shit was
great
cool.
Fucking movie.
All right, guys, that's all we got today. Check us out: Facebook, Instagram, NYGunGuys, all one word. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. If you're boycotting, check us out on Podbean. We got the links in the bio on the Instagram, and it's got to be on the Facebook too. So, I guess that's it for today.
Yeah,
leave a comment on what your favorite Desert Island gun is, and we'll just grow this community.
Word.
All right, good. Have a good one, guys.
Later,
Thanks for tuning in, and as always, stay safe.